The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah! Let's go Monday! I am hyped and ready to go. And you better be too. It's a war outside, ladies and gentlemen. And ain't nobody safe. What's going on? It's Reese on the radio. Scallywags, nutmeggers, conversationalists, and of course you haters. It's Reese on the radio right here on WTIC News Talk 1080. Dana and Michael B. Scallywags in the house immediately. Got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Some of it is just roundabout random news going on out of state, in the state, across the country. We'll get to that. I've got a wild story about a mother who was playing ABBA music. You know how much I like ABBA. I'm a big ABBA fan. But what she was doing with ABBA music recently, in an article I read in Blaze, is absolute blasphemy. We'll talk about that a little bit. Stupidest thing I read today coming up, as well as music news. We'll get into it with Mark Christopher, who walked in. I think he's in the building today. Rarely. He's in the building. He mentioned something to me, which is going to be part of my opening monologue today in the first hour. And for those of you who didn't catch it, you got to go to my Facebook page in order to read it. If you're not following me or friending me on Facebook, you've got to go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com in order to read it. And that is my open letter to Governor Lamont. Now, I should have taken the opportunity to go to the press conference today for that ridiculous signing of a bill that has no teeth, suggesting that there's going to be something for federal agents, ICE agents, to be worried about when it comes to extracting illegals from the state. I want to see what the enforcement looks like when ICE agents wear their masks or don't wear their ID cards or ID nameplate on their uniform. I want to see what Connecticut does. John Larson going to go up there and tackle a guy? By the way, we got John Larson news too, and Martin Looney news, and both of them are hilarious and good. We'll talk about that as well. But I should have been there. I probably would have started a ruckus today. But that's okay. It's an election year. Lamont's out there pounding the pavement, getting his word out there. William Tong was there too. It should have been great. I wouldn't have been able to spread myself around enough. But that's okay. The moment is coming. But if you didn't read my open letter to Governor Lamont, it pretty much was about this statement. Should we play it? Here it is. Lamont, Governor, Ned, Oakley Dokley. He is going to save people of color who are scared and frightened.
The fact that we're talking about this means a lot of people are thinking, people of color perhaps are saying that maybe all other things being equal, I don't want to vote. Maybe it's just not my year to vote. And I got to do everything I can to not let him scare you away from voting.
That's right. Lamont is going to help people of color not be scared. I don't know how he's going to do that, but apparently that white savior thing, it's just innate. It just starts bubbling up. Just wakes up one morning and says, people of color are scared? I will save them. My white savior, billionaire, gravitas will save the Negro, save him from his fear. We just can't have them out there being afraid to vote. We need them. We know who they're voting for. We don't want them to be afraid. Not afraid to vote for us. Even though it's kind of like your whole template, right? Like, what's the template of the Democrat Party? Like sowing fear, right? If you don't vote, we're going to get this, that, and the third. Slavery's coming back. It's going to put y'all back in chains. Remember that, Joe Biden? Yeah, I remember. Huh? Transgender death. Kids will not be able to get gender-affirming care if you don't vote. And now all of a sudden, they're scared. The guy who made them scared is going to save them, protect them. Lamont couldn't protect a bowl of pudding right now. But he's out there talking hella mess about how he's going to save people of color. I'm a little outraged about this. And, okay, I used to do this bit when I was with the Star and Book of Wild morning show. I used to do this all the time, and I would always say to Star, it was like, Star, permission to be black. So with you, I'm going to ask you permission to be black for a second. I don't really feel good being like this. Because you know me, I'm here to mock racism and that whole race-baiting nonsense. I'm here to mock it. But there's some people out there who just get it in their heads that they can be disrespectful and demeaning in a way that my grandfather Augusta used to talk to me about. You see, Grandpa used to say to me, when you shake the white man's hand, you make sure you keep your hand and arm at 90 degrees, where the turn in your elbow is. Keep it 90 degrees. Never, ever let them hold your hand down when they shake your hand. Make sure they keep it level and they look you in the eye. And he said if they shake your hand any other way, that white man has no respect for you. Now, I love my pop. He was a strong, strong man. I spent all of my life making sure that even my white friends, when they shook my hands, they had to keep that 90 degree, shake my hand firmly, look me in the eye. How you doing, sir? How you doing? That I was on the same level. I'll admit, look, I'm a young black man. I'm impressed by my grandfather. But what he was trying to teach me was self-dignity. Just make sure that when you look at those people, you don't know what's on the mind and heart of that individual. You got to speak to them and make sure that they look you in the eye. That you're not some dismissive. That's been my whole life. When I hear Ned Lamont talk like this, I immediately get my back up. And like my grandfather would say, when I heard it, I said, "What you say, boy?" "Yeah, I'm sorry, I did." That's what I would have said if I saw him in the street. "What'd you say to me, boy?" The minute. Now, not to be outdone, it's not like he doesn't have a habit of this. Anybody remember this?
One more time, I'll tell you about the PPP loans, the Paycheck Protection Program. And it's a little like 40 acres and a mule. It's really a big giveaway that the federal government has done for good purpose.
What you say, boy? I'd have checked him in a heartbeat. What are you talking about? 40 acres and a mule. Ned Lamont?
I was talking about opportunity. And I was saying in the middle of this tragedy, the PPP loans, maybe give people an opportunity to keep their businesses going in a really tough time. There are a couple of historical analogies you can draw, but it's really about opportunity. That's
Well, what you say, boy? Now, I'm the last man to call anyone a bigot or a racist. I am teetering on it. But I'm going to say, just because Ned Lamont is an idiot. Ned Lamont is a stone-cold moron. The way in which this guy and many people in his party scream and holler about treating people with equality and equity and diversity to suggest without him, people are running around here scared. Now, I would rather he just say, well, I really mean the illegals who are going to vote in the November election, because that's what he really wants to say. Trust me, I do. I do know. But because he can't get out of his own I'm better than you and elitist moron ways, he said what he said. He knows it. His people know it. They are too stupid to realize how really offensive it is. But then again, they are who they are. Socialists, communists, the people in his tank who are running around telling him what to say and what to do. Those people are the bigots and the racists. You do understand, and I'm going to say this directly to you in your camp because I know you listen, and I appreciate you. Thank you. All the viewership counts. Going to say it directly to you. How else can you save us poor Negro and Hispanic people if you don't see us as less than you? How can you? How can you do anything for us as a community if you don't see us as without agency? If we're so capable and so equal, you wouldn't have to fight so hard for our diversity, equity, and inclusion in anything. It would be normal. It's like I used to say about the equal opportunity employer. You shouldn't have to say it. It should be a given. When you have to say it, you're telling me that there is spate. There is times in which you don't practice that. When you have to enforce it with an agency. Just to make sure it happens, because it just doesn't happen on its own. And when Ned Lamont says stuff like this, that's what he's saying to you. You're too frail. You're too frightened. You're too scared. And I got to do whatever I can to make sure you're not scared. If I've got to drive up to your house in one of my 17 minivans, I'll do it. Sure, Oakley Dokley. Come on by. I'll put him on the money. He'll never come to the hood and grab those folks out of their neighborhoods. Who was he saying it for? How does he intend to protect them? Or was this just an itch to say something bigoted? Because that's indeed who they are. Well, all of those questions are going to be answered at the next press conference. I'm sorry that I missed the one today, but he's got to be out there soon. And Reese on the radio will be there too. And let me give a warning to the rest of the media out there. Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. When I ask my question, I'm expecting an answer. And if you interrupt me, I'll record you too. Don't throw cover towards the governor. Because I see a lot of people out there doing it. They're making excuses for his claims. In fact, I saw no reporting about this. I saw one little outfit that put this out there. Did Ned Lamont say he's going to save the people of color? That they're scared? Where did he get this from? He must have got it at the dinner party. Was the help chattering in the kitchen while they were getting your steak tartare? Did you overhear Mammy in the kitchen? You know, the election coming up for old boss there. I don't know if I'm going to vote in this one. Donald Trump got me scared. What'd you say? Did you say you're afraid? What else could have prompted him?
The fact that we're talking about this means a lot of people are thinking, people of color perhaps are saying that maybe all other things being equal, I don't want to vote. Maybe it's just not my year to vote. And I got to do everything I can to not let him scare you away from voting.
Because I'll lose if I don't have them. If I don't have the Negroes and the illegals, what am I going to do? I can't possibly win this time. I got to do everything in my power to make sure that they're there. Otherwise, what good is me running again? I've got to have them. Don't worry, Mabel. No, Mammy. Yeah, don't worry, Mammy. I've got you. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I can't let him get away with this one. Oh, this one's going to be beautiful. Don't worry. We'll be back. More on this when we return. Go nowhere. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. Hey, tell the governor. We'll be back. It's Reese on the radio.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
I got to tell you, this ridiculous idea that has been said over and over again about minority voters, this desperate plea for them. It's obvious in so many ways that this race has not been won by the people who keep telling me, oh, it's a cakewalk. I told you it's not. And you'll laugh at me. You keep laughing at me. Yeah, Reese, you don't know. You haven't been here. I'm going to tell you just like I told the people in Boston. You're Connecticut. You're not Mars. Keep treating your town like you're living on a different planet. People are people. So why should it be you and I should get along so often? Don't ask me. I'm sorry. I got you. I don't know why I just did that. I have no idea. I hate when people do that, and I just did it. Anyway, hey, I want to give a new listener shout out to Greg and Linda, proud parents of Dana at Stadium 15, who are new listeners to the program. So thank you both for listening to the program. This relationship has been known to bring you joy and laughter and merriment. So good luck. I hope that works for you. Also, I want to state this before I get back into this whole thing with Ned Lamont. I want to give a shout out to Karen at Stop and Shop. And we just met her yesterday, and it was briefly, but I got to tell this story because it's important. So, Roland, I told this story many, many moons ago, and it happened right here in Connecticut. So it was great to watch it happen again, to have the story that I told some 22, 23 years later actually happen to Roseanne. About 23 years ago, I was at the Buckland Hills Mall, upstairs at the CVS, I want to say, or Walgreens. All I know is that it was a pharmacy, it was one of those two, but I'm positive it was CVS back in 2004. And I'm upstairs, and I'm talking to one of the co-hosts of the morning show that I'm a part of, and these two kids were standing in front of us online like any other date. And I start talking, and the kid turns around and looks at me, and he goes, "You're Reese, aren't you?" And I went, "Yeah." Again, didn't know anybody in town. "I know, you're Reese, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "I recognize your voice on the radio." I'm like, "Really? You can tell that?" He's like, "I listen to you all the time, and your voice is in my head all the time, and just immediately recognize it." Well, wouldn't you know it? I've been telling that story forever. It was the weirdest moment ever because when you're a celebrity and you're on TV and you're on the movies, you walk down the street, somebody looks at you and they go, hey, that's him. I never thought that would be a thing with a voice because it takes a certain type of memory. And you've got to be sort of embedded and recognizable, like something you do often enough to have that voice register in your brain. So here we are at the Stop and Shop. And we're going into self-checkout, and it turns out to be long lines. We come around the corner, and we stand there behind this lady, and Roseanne she's saying other things and ripping me about, hey, remember you used to be in the candy aisle all the time? Doing what she always does. And I go, oh, yeah, that's right. And then I make a mention. It was like, oh, Boston baked beans. That's a long time since I had those as a kid. And she said, yeah, my stepdad used to love those. All of a sudden, the woman sitting in front of us, or standing in front of us, turns around and looks right at Roseanne and says, you're Roseanne, aren't you? And she's like, yes. She goes, I listen to you all the time. I see the look on Roseanne's face was exactly what mine was. When she was like, me? Like, she recognized me. She was saying that the whole way home. She recognized me? I'm like, hey, see? That's the power of that. And she was so overwhelmed by that, and she thought it was so sweet. So she told me when I left today, Karen, to make sure that I give you a shout-out and say thank you that you remembered her and you thought that she was so informative and funny. That meant a lot. Still means a lot to her. So I just want to make sure that I made that clear. Now, back to my original conversation here about Lamont. A lot of people would give this guy a pass, saying that, people of color are scared. If you haven't heard, here it is.
The fact that we're talking about this means a lot of people are thinking, people of color perhaps are saying, maybe all other things being equal, I don't want to vote. Maybe it's just not my year to vote. And I got to do everything I can to not let him scare you away from voting.
Now, why would he scare average citizens away from voting? Right? Why would they be afraid to vote? It's not like Donald Trump suggested poll taxes on anyone, did he? Right? It's not like Donald Trump sent, hooded Aryan whites into their neighborhoods to burn crosses and churches to keep them from voting. Because that's never been done, right? Thank you. It's not like Donald Trump has ever implemented Jim Crow like those in the black leadership are calling for after the Supreme Court said no racial gerrymandering, right? It's funny how the Democrats always show who they are. You would think the party switched and became the very racist that they always were. And here's this guy saying, oh, what the hell? Don't need to say it.
The fact that we're talking about this means a lot of people are thinking, people of color perhaps are saying, maybe all other things being equal, I don't want to vote. Maybe it's just not my year to vote. And I got to do everything I can to not let him scare you away from voting.
Now, I'm still trying to figure out, how is he scaring them? And that's why I'm going to ask the question. How is he scaring? Who is he scaring? Somebody who is, ambiguous about their citizenship? Like, I want to know the person of color who is looking to go vote and say, ooh, it's a little hairy out there. Should I leave the house to go vote? What are the things that could stop me? Let's say ICE agents, they could probably pull me over because they may think that as a black man I might be here from Africa. Will I be able to tell them that my ancestors came here on the ships, or will they need to see some identification? I'm just trying to figure it out. What does he mean? I want specificity. He's got to give it. He owes it to you. He owes it to me. What are they so afraid of? Just like this nonsense bill that they signed today. They're going to get ICE agents to take off their mask. I'm trying to figure out. Someone needs to ask them, who is going to enforce it? Who is? Is William Tong going to be at every checkpoint? Is he going to ride along with ICE? He's going to say, hey, buddy. Yeah, you got to put down your mask. Yeah, buddy. And make sure that your nameplate is displayed properly. You're not in the right uniform. We're going to have to send you home without pay. What does he think? He's going to run it like a McDonald's? I'd love to see this. So I hear a whole bunch of fear, a stoking of fear, people of color. And where are the people of color? Where are you? Again, I've got to be the only one that's going to be outraged about this? I'm the guy? Me? What the hell is going on? Where's Scott XL? Huh? Where's Scott Extra Large at? Huh? I know he's got a boot on. I think he tripped getting to the buffet. What's going on, Scott? Are you scared? And I don't mean the scared that made you run back into the hearing room after I confronted you. Not that kind of scared. Like shaking in your boot scared. Like, what are you afraid of? Shouldn't you be stepping up? Where's Corey Betts at? What the hell? Nobody over there at Hartford votes anyway. What am I talking to these guys for? They don't do a get out the vote campaign. They've got no interest in that. So I know they're not scared. They're just disinterested. I bet you Corey Betts voted for Trump. I put him out of money on it. I bet he did. Bob J says that there are a lot of people who think that they can speak for all blacks, like you, Bob J. I just love it when Lamont says that they're scared. And I know he meant, when he says people of color, I know the drill, folks. I'm literally being tongue-in-cheek here. But when you say people of color, you're talking about black people. And since everything is about race with this party, I've got to hold their feet to the fire. What do you mean? And I want him to correct himself. Here's why I want him to correct himself, because I know he's going to. He's got no choice. I want him to say the words that he is afraid to say. Well, of course I'm not talking about black people. I mean the Hispanics. That's what I'm talking about. And you know what? I'm going to get guys like Mike Ortiz. I'm going to get guys like Eddie Torres, and I'm going to bring them along. And we're going to stand right in front of them. And when he says, I clearly didn't mean the blacks. And I went, did you mean the Hispanics? Sure, talk to these two journalists right here. Tell them, these Puerto Rican gentlemen, why they should be afraid to vote. American citizens, they are. Who are you talking about? Please explain to me how, because of their ethnicity, they are so stupid they need their white billionaire, I don't know, what's the best way to describe him? Overlord, to assist them in voting. We'll find out. Trust me, there'll be a statement. We'll see. Well, don't worry. We'll tell you. We'll tell you all about it in a minute. Stand by. We'll be back. It's Reese on the radio.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. Reese on the radio. My good friend Mark in West Hartford is on the line. What's going on, Mark?
So, I try not to call you.
I know.
But this is blatant exploitation.
Right.
What I want to ask you is, again, I think you're going to know where I'm going. I'm glad you went where you just went.
Yeah.
Where is Scott XST, all that. What I want to know is, where are the elected Republican officials? They should have been writing a Substack or opinion piece like they did. They should be cold calling you and almost verbatim using your open. They're the ones. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. What I'm saying is, here are the Republicans again. And what do I always say? Missed opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even more so, how about the 3 running for governor?
Mm-hmm.
Go into Hartford, Bridgeport, Waterbury, West Haven. Go to the black community. All they have to do is play that audio, show it on print, play it, whatever, and just say, listen, they've been doing this to you for decades. And look at, they're blatant about it. They're so comfortable. Where are the Republicans in Connecticut? Go ahead. That's my question.
No. You're brilliant. No, listen, you are so on point. So listen, of course this happens over the weekend when I hear about it, right? So I write my open letter. I get, I had the audio and everything, so I got my open letter. And there were so many different ways I was going to approach this. I said, let me just wait for Monday and I'll approach it then. But I was so incensed by it, I just wrote the article. And of course, right now we are sitting at just under 150,000 views on that open letter. Which is, and again, it's been shared, been shared over 200 times on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I'm already impressed by that. But so over the weekend, I'm putting together my questions for the debate. And wouldn't you know it, the question you just asked about Hartford, Bridgeport, New Haven, and of course, Waterbury, Bristol, New Britain, areas like that, I had to incorporate it in my question. Now, it isn't framed exactly the way you do, but it sort of goes along that line, because I wanted to be very positive. I don't want to be incensed. But I asked that very important question. No. I asked the very important question. You bring up a valid point. Is that's the big problem with us as Republicans, is that here it is. We have a condescending, I can say so much, a condescending, out-of-touch millionaire, billionaire who would say something so ridiculous that we don't seize on it. That's why I'm going after it.
Well, and here's the thing is, I always bring this up. They're great at manufacturing outrage. It's Steve Hart. And I got to use names because guess what? They're the ones there with their names out there manufacturing this outrage. Pick a topic, fill in the blank.
Right.
This one, and they all stand behind while one of them speaks or another one steps up.
Right.
Think out.
Everybody,
I
tell
you what I'm working? I usually don't tell people what I'm gathering, but tomorrow I'm going to spend more time. I didn't have a chance. I'm going to go, just to let you know, Ned, if you're listening or your people, I am going to go into a couple inner cities, and I'm going to ask the blacks how afraid they are to go vote in the polling place.
Exactly.
Let's see how many of them tell me how afraid they are to go.
That's the kind of on-the-ground journalism we got to have.
Well, you'll see it. I'm not shy of posting stuff.
Hey, keep at it and alert me. Listen, keep at it. Alert me, because when you get the audio, I'll play it here.
Okay, awesome. I will get it.
You got it. Thank you, boss.
It'll be easy.
I know. You got it. Yeah, it's got to be said. And everybody's got to jump on it. I know everyone is on this whole Men of Peace story, and we'll talk to Greg Howard about that later. Representative Greg Howard is going to be here on the program at 4:00. This Men of Peace guy, I can say a lot, but I'm just going to save it until I speak to Greg Howard about it. That guy strikes me as a certain type. I'll get into it when I have my conversation with him at 4:00. So stand by for that. He'll be calling in on the phone. Plus, I got a whole bunch of other stuff to get into. What a mother did with ABBA music is absolutely blasphemous. And I got to get into it today. Just absolutely blasphemous. But you know what? It could turn out to be a good thing. We'll talk about that. Stupidest news as well. Martin Looney. Martin Looney is leaving. He is no longer seeking re-election after 42 years of destroying this state. Congratulations to him. And I'm going to play that audio that John Silver played. John, if you can hear me, fast forward that William Tong audio about Marty. I really, really love that. That's the perfect audio for his send-off. I can't wait. Can't wait to play that for you. So stand by. More news, more views than you can shake a stick at, okay? Let me see. What else do I have? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah, and may the 4th be with you. I mean, okay. I guess I forgot. It's May the 4th. It's important that we do. I understand Obama has a video out outside of his atrocious-looking empire. It literally looks like something out of an evil empire. With Mark Hamill, them doing something corny. I hear that they're clowning his presidential library online. But, that's the way it goes. So we'll get into that. More news, more views. You can shake and stick out. We got plenty of stuff raring to go. So bear with us. We'll be back. John Silva's up next. He's in the WTIC newsrooms. It's Reese on the radio.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
There we go. We're back. It's Reese on the radio. We're live. We're back. It's Monday.
Oakley dokley.
And that's Ned Lamont there telling everybody, no need to be scared, folks. He's got your back. Like this guy's got your back. He's going to protect you at the polls.
Oakley dokley.
That's why I call him Oakley Dokley. 46 years, man. 46 years. That's a long time, folks. It's a long time. 46 years. Travels all the way back to 1980. 1980. By the way, I've got a weird question to ask, and this one comes from my good friend Rodney at 10 Cafe. And I'll explain to you. It's about 1983. We'll get into that in a second. But 1980. That's when Martin Looney got in office. Started in the House back in 1980. Moved to the Senate in 1992. Became majority leader for a record 12 years and held the top Senate spot since 2015. All records. 6 governors, 10 House speakers. He's been in a room for virtually every big decision Connecticut has made for nearly half a century. And he has been the name. Now, the fact that Martin Looney is leaving, he's decided he's got to spend time with his family, his grandchildren, all that good stuff. Hey, God bless him. You got him? Go hang out with him. But this send-off, if you will, reminds me of a time back in 2008 when Ted Kennedy found out that he had a brain tumor. Remember that? Just got out of the hospital. And the helicopters were following over him in his motorcade as he was going to Kennyport, Maine, something like that. I think that's where he was headed, Kennyport, Maine. And there was this constant theme of, I don't know, like elating. Was it Hyannisport? No, he was going to Kennyport, Maine that day. Wait, maybe he was going to Hyannisport. It's quite possible. Yeah, he may have been going to, whatever it was. It doesn't matter. All I know is there was a motorcade that was following him, the helicopter over him. Like it was a motorcade to his funeral. He was just coming home from the hospital. All these people in Boston talking about him and his stellar career. I sat there at WRKO saying to myself, stellar? That guy? Is this the guy we were just talking about a month ago? Is this the guy that we have been spending year after year, decade after decade, calling this guy a reprobate? Who's this guy? Now, I know there are going to be some people who are mad at me about Martin Looney, just like they were when they were mad at me about Ted Kennedy. But I don't care. The facts are the facts, folks, and you know it. And I don't care if William Tong is someone, he'll remain a good friend. Stop lying. He'll remain a good friend. Secretly delete. Martin Looney's no good to you if he's not in office, William. Take it, like literally, take it from me. I know how you dudes operate. What can he do from you from the retirement center? Huh? Shady Acres won't even pick up your calls. And what would you call him about? How good is the pudding? Stop it. Don't make me laugh. Well, he'll remain a good friend. Sure, you'll spend Thanksgiving together. But these people who are going to completely rearrange his record, Martin Looney, and how he devastated the state. May I go through a few? Let's go through a few. Looney spent years as the co-chair of the Finance Committee and the top Senate leader. Connecticut ranks 47th out of 50 states for tax competitiveness. We have one of the highest property tax burdens in America, third highest effective rate. Income taxes top out at 6.99%. He repeatedly pushed hikes on higher earners and capital gains to fund more spending. The result? Connecticut has become one of the most expensive states to live in. High taxes plus high energy costs and housing prices squeeze working families from both ends. Who's going to lie and celebrate this guy? Who's going to do it? Who's going to get on here and revel about his record? I want to see who they are. I'm going to call you out because I know that you'll all be doing that whole online thing. Martin, thanks again. That's what you'll be doing, right in the camera, throwing the thumbs up. Good job, Martin. Have a good retirement, Martin. Yay. You'll act like none of this stuff happened. I think the Republicans should do one, too. Thanks for ruining things, Martin. Yay. Yay, Martin. Hey, Martin, thanks for helping people exit this city at an alarming rate. Yay. Good job, Martin. Yay. Martin Looney is going to be so fantastic. If he ends up in a leadership role at the retirement home, I bet you he'd force those people out. Martin Looney's going to go to Shady Acres and raise the rates. That's what he'll do. No, I'm not. For some reason, I don't think they're paying enough here. That's what's going to happen. People and businesses are voting with their feet. Records show net out migration. Tens of thousands of leaving for lower tax states like Florida and Texas. Big companies, General Electric, Aetna, others, cited the tax regulatory climate. They moved their headquarters out, moving companies rank Connecticut near the bottom for people who are coming in. Retirees, which Marty will be joining, and younger workers are heading south. That's revenue walking out the door, which makes the tax burden on those left behind even heavier. Thanks, Marty. Great job. That's what all you people on the news are going to be saying. A stellar career. Yay! He'll be handing over those reins to somebody else. Who's he got on it? Bob Duff. I am going to coin a new phrase when Bob gets in. We're getting duffed. That's what I'm going to call it. Looney's leaving us so we can all get duffed. I'm just brilliant like that. I'm a marketing maven. Let me see. What else have we got here? Minimum wage victory with real costs. Yes. Marty can always hang his hat on that. Raising the floor to nearly 17% and tying it to automatic increases sounds compassionate, but small businesses, restaurants, retailers, contractors, they say it forced tough choices. Cut hours, raise prices. Yeah, they had to automate. Or hire few entry-level workers in a state where everything else already costs a fortune. It adds pressure to exactly where the economy is the weakest, job growth. In those sectors, it's been slower than it should be. Thanks, Marty! Yay! This is all going to hang on him, and you're all going to lie about it. Every newspaper, every magazine, every television network, that's what they're going to do. They're going to lie about it. He was a staple here in Connecticut. A lion amongst men. That's what they'll say. I love every bit of it. Spending without fixing the problems. Looney helped steer budgets that poured massive aid into cities like New Haven and Hartford, his region. Extra hundreds of millions for schools, municipal support, you name it. Statewide education spending hit $12.2 billion recently. Yet urban districts still struggle with outcomes. Chronic absenteeism, the cost that's been climbing. New Haven gets special treatment because, again, that's his district. But the city's challenges with poverty and taxes and relative low income, they haven't magically disappeared. No, Martin Looney, he ran that town to the ground. Yay! Go, Marty! A lion amongst men. That's what it's going to be. That's it, in a nutshell. All of the havoc, all of the poverty, all of the struggle, all of the exodus. They'll keep saying, he was a great man, stellar in his stead. And now he passes the torch. I'm going to laugh at all of them, and I'm going to cover every bit of it. Don't lie. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. There's not one person who can tell me they're not going to do it. Not one. Because they can't be. That's how this goes. That's how this always goes. You can't even tell the truth as they're walking out the door. To at least give a warning to the next knucklehead. Don't be that guy leaving. That's exactly what this should be. This should be a warning sign. Stop electing these people. His record is shattered. Do you understand that? His record is mud. I'm sure homeschoolers are not sitting up there saying, what a great job. What else do we have here? Well, some people, this one's going to be teetering towards bipartisan outrage. Well, there are some people who might be happy. But that's right, he back to ending the death penalty. That was a big thing on his watch. Yeah. Death penalty. He supported the state. Oh, yeah, that's right. He also supported state intuition. In-state tuition, I should say, for undocumented students. Illegals. And why did he back it? They can do nothing with said degree because they're illegal. It means nothing. But he backed it. Let me see. What else is there? Well, yeah, we know he had health issues. That's it. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so there you go. Martin Looney. Only reason why I'm telling you about his record is because, trust me, every person, watch this weekend on the Sunday shows. Watch exactly what they say about the guy. They will revel in him. They will adorn him with such accolades. There won't be an ounce of criticism. And these people will tell you, it's like, well, can't we just show him some grace? For what? For what? That's like the worst construction builder in a century or half a century finally retiring. And people throwing him a party and finding good ways to talk about his construction failures. You know, he didn't always keep the structures standing, and not everyone lived, but he was dedicated. Yay! I can't with these people. They're all a bunch of morons. All of them. I'm going to Chris. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Good, Reese. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. What's up?
Good. So let's kind of continue this a little bit more. You're talking. You said he was one of the guys who brought up minimum wage in Connecticut. Yeah. And then you were saying it was actually an article in the Harvard Current about a month and a half ago on why people are still in poverty, even though we got the highest minimum wage in the United States, almost $17+.
Yeah.
Problem is you've tripled the price for a home. You've tripled the price for everything.
Yep.
That's why people are in poverty. Okay? So you can throw money anywhere you want, but where the rubber's going to meet the road is when you get the commodities down to a reasonable price.
Correct.
Okay. So let's go a little farther here. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about let's talk about the United States. You were talking about how bad this guy did and how
I love the obvious segue, but go on.
but no, you're going to revel. You're saying, oh, these guys will revel in this and all the stuff that he's done, and you just listed all the bad things he's done. I think Trump will be the same way. You guys are going to revel on him. This guy has increased the price of gas, $1.50 in a matter of 6 or 7 weeks.
Okay.
I do believe there were Democrats out there who voted for Trump because he promised to cut their energy bills by 50%, and if he doesn't do that, you could be mad at him.
Okay, I think that we should be – hold on. I think that we should be mad at him because of the increase in gas rates right now. My question to you is because the price is high right now. You can be angry about the price being high right now. We were angry when it was high under other presidents. Okay, and I don't have to mention any names to make that point. We were always angry at the height of gas prices. We were angry at Carter. Of course, gas shortages. We're always angry about it. But you're kind of making a point without making a cogent one, because let me explain to you what I mean by that. Right?
Yep.
So Donald Trump's legacy will be determined in 2028. Yes?
Maybe. I don't know how we've got 27.
No. Hold on. Martin,
we
are trying to do apples and apples here, right?
Okay.
Martin Looney is announcing May.
Retirement to retirement.
That's right. Retirement to retirement. Donald Trump still has a legacy to build in his second term. Correct? So where it stands, where it stands today is unfavorable for him for a host of reasons. And look, arguably, I throw in polling data, but polling data would suggest that, okay, this doesn't look good, but I would have to go through every one of these polling data things, and that's just what I do. But that being said, if you want to compare the two, I would say if Martin Looney gets a swimming sort of goodbye send-off, knowing the damage that he's done to the state. Because, by the way, make any argument, and I'll give anybody the opportunity. The number's 860-522-WTIC. Tell me the good he's done for the state, and I'd be happy to debate that.
I like that, because if you were to ask me, what has Trump done good for the country? I could rally tens of things. Maybe obviously one of the bigger ones that he did, secure the border, but even that had flaws. But you know what?
What does it?
Well, Trump. So let's go. We've been through COVID, we've been through inflation, and now we're in knee deep in this. Whatever you want to call it,
right?
A war, a conflict, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
Biden's inflation was done by a couple of different things. It was done by pumping large amounts of money into a system that didn't have ways of buying stuff.
Oh, it was far worse than that. It was far worse than that, Chris.
You couldn't buy much.
He was spending money. He was giving money away to people.
Right.
He was giving money to people that had nothing to do with ever sustaining people's lives. Nothing.
But you're right. So with all of that extra cash, whether you deserved it or not, you were waiting for these companies to start production again. So the first widgets that got off the assembly line goes to the highest bidders, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's how inflation starts. That's how inflation starts.
No, it was also printing money that went nowhere into the industry. It went into NGOs.
You're exactly right. So it was an influx of money. So it's an influx of money, right? That starts inflation. Now we have inflation. Now we have what we have now, depending on what you want to call it. You know, this, in my view, this is directly, I think, in line with Trump's foreign policies. Okay. Would you agree or not agree? I'm not too sure.
I would sort of disagree because I think that's a little more complex. But look, I got to take a break, Chris. But I appreciate you finding a way to segue Martin Looney into Donald Trump. But then again, what else is new? But God bless you anyway.
I love you, Reese.
You got it, man. All right, I will talk to you soon. You got it, buddy. I love you too. Let's take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. And I know you want to jump at the bit, which you can in a bit when we return. It's Reese on the radio.
Spider-Man. Hey, he's your friendly neighborhood Reese on the radio. Right now on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Oakley dokley.
All right, it's Reese on the radio. We're back. Let me get to some phone calls here. Ralphie boy in South Carolina. How we doing, sir?
It's been a while.
I know, sir. What's up, buddy?
A couple things. First of all, I have a question for all your progressive friends, especially Murphy and Blumenthal, who are two of the lowest life forms in the U.S. Senate. I want to know what Murphy and Blumenthal's plans were if Iran got a nuclear weapon and they had ICBMs. They were developing them now that would reach Washington and New York. What do you think their plan would be to stop that?
Oh, they had no plan to stop that, but I would expect a U-Haul truck and a U-Haul ship to take both of those gentlemen to Tehran. That's what I would expect.
Another thing, too, which I found interesting, I'm down in Florida right now, but I was in Atlanta on my flight, and there were two young men with dogs. Mm. And they were brown, Belgium, not Malman. It begins with an M. I don't know what they call them. Mm-hmm. But I was BSing with them, and they were young men from Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Okay.
And these dogs were on their way to Mar-a-Lago at the request of the Secret Service.
Wow. Okay, so these are those, they're very, very pretty, but they're very lean attack dogs.
Extremely lean. They obviously were drugged because they were flying because the handler says, we don't want them to get all hyped up, so they keep them drugged up.
That's the one that Donald Trump calls beautiful dogs. Beautiful dogs.
Yeah, I'm sure. And they were on their way to Mar-a-Lago, and these two handlers said they will be staying with those dogs.
Wow.
And they were doing the perimeter on Mar-a-Lago at night. And it was pretty interesting. And also, I went to the tournament at Doral Saturday.
Yeah.
Reese, I have never in my life seen so many Secret Service agents.
Really?
And these are only the ones that were uniformed.
Wow. Yeah, I know Trump was down there.
Every 20 feet, there was Secret Service in any entrance anywhere at all. You had to go through Secret Service and metal detectors. It was security like I'd never seen anywhere in my life.
Yeah, those things make me nervous because right now the security detail for him is so heightened, which again sort of gives you that, like, yes, you're secure, but on the other end, there's sort of like that opposite feeling of you're kind of a really, really big target. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And these people were making sure. I mean, they got a puff of smoke through that security. Let me tell you, I couldn't believe. And I talked to a bunch of them, nice young people, great people, and just doing a job. That's all they are doing is doing a job, and they don't get enough credit.
Yeah.
And then when you got to deal with idiots like Murphy and Blumenthal, where they don't want to pay them, but Murphy and Blumenthal get paid, and Blumenthal is worth, well over $100 million?
I heard that. The number keeps fluctuating. Thank you, Ralph. Good to hear you back, man.
Great day.
You got it. You too. Let's get to Joe in Simsbury. I had him call back because I knew he wanted to talk about the earlier, but I'm hoping he's got something to say about Martin Looney. What's up, Joe?
I do. Why don't I lead with that, and then we'll get into your outstanding piece on what Lamont did.
Yes.
So my hope for Martin Looney, and Chris wanted to compare Martin Looney to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Let me compare Martin Looney to Barney Frank.
Ooh, nice.
Because Barney Frank, God bless him. I don't agree with him politically.
Right.
He's dying right now.
Indeed. He's in
but
hospice.
As part of him passing away, he wanted to show some wisdom and some honor and some truth.
Mm-hmm.
And he has said that the Democrat Party has moved too far left.
That's right.
And this is from a guy who is a well-known liberal. And I've always said, I don't have any problems with liberals. My problem is with progressives because they want to break down the system. They want to destroy the country. And some of them are too stupid to realize that they're pawns in a game.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that Martin Looney at some point looks at what he's done to this state and said, out of the goodness of my heart, I think I just went too far, and we just funded too many things that didn't work, and we took too much money out of the pockets of good, hardworking people. I hope he has that reconciliation, as I'll call it, before the day that he passes.
Yeah.
But I want to talk, and Ralph actually kind of segued into this, the whole thing about what Lamont said.
Yeah.
I will bet, and I don't know what systems that you use, maybe LexisNexis or something like that might have it. But I recall, and I'm sure a lot of other people will recall, that during COVID, so many different TV stations were caught using the exact same language. Mm-hmm. And they showed it on the screen, and they just kept flashing, safe and effective, safe and effective. Everyone was saying, and I know it wasn't safe and effective, there's some additional language there, but it was verbatim language that they were all given.
Yeah.
And I believe that within a week, you will be able to find that what Ned Lamont said is being said by a number of other people around the country.
And you're talking about this so-called atmosphere of fear going into the vote.
Yes.
You're 100% right.
Yep. And I believe that they have made the decision, and I'll kind of tie this to something Mark said before, believe it or not, that Donald Trump, and this is where Ralph had his segue, the Belgian Malinois dogs, these people have created a climate now where Donald Trump needs to be stopped no matter how.
Yep.
And that includes a judge today apologizing to the suspect who tried to assassinate him the other night.
For the conditions in the jail that he is in.
Yeah, they have him on suicide watch. So they did the same thing they do to anyone who's on a suicide watch.
Right.
So the thing is that the Democrats want to break down the system, and they want to recreate the system in the sick images that they have in their mind, whether it be socialism or communism or progressivism. Mm-hmm. And the reason the Republicans, who totally should have been going after Lamont, Mark's 100% right, is Republicans in general don't want to hurt the system. And they feel that, wow, if we ripped into Governor Lamont for that, are we really helping the system of government? Are we crossing the line and, being just like them with attacks? Because it's a no-brainer what this Yoakley-Dokley said. That should have been attacked.
Yes, exactly. You're 100% right. Yeah, listen, he's going to have to answer for it. I think the answer we're going to get is, I didn't mean black people. I meant Hispanics. He's going to fumble through it, but I'm going to be there to catch him. And they know that they know that I'm coming. And I'm going to ask a legitimate question. I'm going to play the audio in front of him before he answers it. Please tell me how you're going to say people of color. I'm a person of color. Talk to me like you're addressing me, because I might be afraid. And that's exactly what he's going to have to answer. And I know I'm giving away the farm, because I know they're listening, but I don't care. This is one of those things he's just going to have to answer. Draft your answer now, Ned Lamont. Figure it out. Get someone in your camp to figure out how you're going to address this question, because everybody should be outraged about what he said. Exactly what he said. And if, again, his answer to it should then send a message. It should send a message to every Democrat, especially every white one, that says this nonsense about people of color who are going to be afraid to vote. That's just my view.
The average Democrat, sadly, especially in the state of Connecticut, probably doesn't care. Because deep down, they have some level of racism themselves.
Indeed.
Because they don't know how to do something as simple as, and I'm not perfect myself, and when I say this about myself, I try to judge people on their behavior. Indeed. I do not judge people on the color of their skin. But I get into trouble sometimes because people say, oh, because I won't even get into the videos that I've seen or retweeted on. But the fact of the matter is that people are living in a fog. It's like that stuff needs to stop, not just because of, who's doing it, but if they're doing it to one group of people, they're doing it to their own people.
Damn right.
And that's a behavioral thing.
Exactly.
And our country should not tolerate it because there's 99% great people that get along and respect people and look them in the eye. And then you have the others that do things that, should have them drop from 30,000 feet with no second chance. But Democrats can't face that.
Yeah.
They're racist.
Indeed.
Most of them are legitimately racist.
Indeed. Thank you, Joe.
Right, thank you.
You got it, sir. I will tell you what Joe is talking about as he was laying all of that out. I got this image. I tell you guys all the time, I love movies. And the imagery I got, for those of you who know the Marvel films, I know some of you hate them, but that's fine. But there's a scene it's several scenes in Winter Soldier. And I feel like the Democrats have finally been figured out that they are Hydra, and now they're not ashamed anymore. When this judge tells, this guy Cole Allen that I apologize for the conditions you have to live in jail for, to me, that's like him just whispering to him, Hail Hydra. Yeah, just tell me that I'm one of you. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I see. When I saw that reporter whispering to Lamont, giving him coaching, that actually happened under your watch when you guys funneled the $550 million to the general fund. Yeah, you actually, that didn't happen before you. That happened during. Hail Hydra. That's what I felt like. We got to take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. We'll be back.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Oakley dokley.
I know you said that I was coming back, but I had to find something real quick. Do I have time for this? I'll take one more. Let me take Bob in Waterbury. He's been on hold for a little bit. What's going on, Bob?
Hi, Reese. How you doing today?
I'm all right, sir. What's up?
I haven't talked to you in a while, but I think Looney, he can go shoulder to shoulder with you and Jerry's parents and go down to Belka Bovista there down in Florida for the $4.99 early bird. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I don't look. Does Chris, am I wrong in saying that Martin Looney doesn't have a stellar reputation as a majority leader?
Ever since I haven't followed, I'm 65. I haven't been following politics my whole life.
Right.
But ever since I have, which is a long time, he's always been in charge of the Democrats in Connecticut.
Yeah.
So it's like 45 years. Yeah, that's about it. Because I think about 25 years old, I started paying attention.
Exactly. So what have we seen, though? Yes, exactly. What have we seen? We've heard the fact that this guy is the power player. Okay, he is the de facto. I mean, he almost seems like a lieutenant governor in anything, but more like a capo than anybody in the legislature. But what has he been able to do? Sure, he's been able to pass laws.
I always mention it, but it probably never happened. But there should be term limits.
Clearly,
these guys, but they have to vote that in. So
that'll never happen.
But I mean, a lot of people say, well, you need people who learn how to work together. Okay, to a point, but 45, 50 years for a job, that's not where. Back in the day when this country was built, you did your 8 years, whatever, and then you went back to the farm.
Exactly.
That was it.
Martin Looney is the epitome of oversight. And what I mean by that is oversight of the government into your daily lives. I look at all of these bills that he has championed, all the things that he has promoted. It has been, as Annie Dufresne has said, who's also a legislator, said that he turned Connecticut from the Constitution state to the up your butt state, because Martin Looney finds a way to get up your behind in everything. In essence, government oversight of every facet. Here's the reason why this whole homeschooling argument's happening.
Yeah. Well, I've mentioned to you before when I moved here from Rhode Island when I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
There was my road was half full. It was just grass and trees and everything, and then the rest of the houses were built. There's more moving trucks coming into Connecticut. Now there's more moving trucks leaving.
Yeah, indeed.
So it's too bad.
And he knows it.
We can only look positive, though.
Yeah. In fact, I've got a story about that when we return. Stand by for that. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate you, man.
See you later, Reese.
You got it. All right, we got to get weather and traffic. That's coming up in a minute. Did you know that Connecticut is on the top 10 most hated states? Did you know that? Yeah. When we come back, I'll tell you about it, because it's an interesting survey that they did. And what did I get here? Let me see. I started in Connecticut, started here in 2022. Right? I was just looking at some old documents that I signed. It was March of 2022. So right now we're looking at 4 years since I started here. And I can honestly say everything I said in the beginning about Connecticut, it can be summed up in this survey. Top 10 states that are the most hated, but Connecticut's reasons will blow your mind. Stand by for that. Also, Greg Howard, Representative Greg Howard, is going to be coming up on the phone, so stand by for him. Mark Christopher is here. I just saw him physically. He is he's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. How you doing, bud?
Reese, working hard, prepping the show. It was in at 11 this morning.
Oh, man. I'm prepping at 9, and then I come in and prep more.
There you go. You were just all kinds of stuff going on there. Yeah. Busy.
All right. Coming up on the second hour of second half of Reese on the Radio, we've got Representative Greg Howard. He is on the phone. We'll join him in a moment. We'll talk about this TikTok video that got everybody talking over the weekend by some rabble-rouser over there in the Democrat Party. He's talking a lot of hot stuff. We used to say that back in the days. He's talking real sweet. Online at midnight, got a lot of people up in arms. We'll talk to Greg about that, a former police officer, and the accusations made in the TikTok video. We'll also play that TikTok video when we return. Also, we'll get to your phone calls. We'll get to a whole bunch of other stuff. This woman who was using ABBA in the most blasphemous way, because, I'm a big fan of ABBA. Also, this Senate Bill 397 that Lamont signed into law, it means nothing. It has no teeth. What are we talking about it for? We'll break all that down and much, much more. Maybe we'll even ask Representative Howard about that as well, so stand by for that. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Our good friend Mark Christopher's here. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, sir.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back, and as promised, let me get Homeboy's picture up here. So you know what? Wrong one. Where is his photograph? I thought I had it. There he is. Yes. There he is. He's on the line with us now. Representative Greg Howard. Greg, you've been on this show before, right?
Yes, sir. Good to talk to you. How are you?
Good to have you again. I know you couldn't be live because I hate when people are in town and they call me on the phone, but I know that you guys are out there arguing and fighting for the supermajority who's only going to win over you anyway. But what the hell? We don't care. We love the fact that you're out there fighting. And I know that this story that you are a part of is a part of this toothless legislation that Ned Lamont signed today with all of this pageantry that has no teeth. But let's get into the most important part of this story. So this obvious beard named Manapiece or Manapace, whatever the heck his name is, went on TikTok in the middle of the night talking a lot of hot ones about you in particular and accused you of all things of being a harasser or some sort of bully. Talk to me about this.
Yeah, so we had let me backtrack a little bit if I can, Reese. So Steve Dastrom's the House Chair of the Judiciary Committee, and he and I had about a 2-hour debate on that bill, very healthy, very, appropriate and polite, et cetera, very professional, which we often do. Mm-hmm. And the debate was over and we went home. Well, on his way out of the building, evidently, Nick decided he was going to put out a TikTok video and express his disdain over the debate and some of the amendments I ran, which is fine. I mean, that's fair play. And he summarized one of the amendments extremely inaccurately. But look, I chalk it up to the game. I mean, it happens up here. It happens all the time. But then he went a little far. And then he said, this is a person, because I'm a police officer in my hometown of Stonington, and my full-time job has been a police officer almost 24 years. And he says, he's used his job as a police officer to harass people. He harasses his colleagues. He harasses former opponents, anybody who crosses him. And that is just factually baseless. I've challenged the press since Friday morning. Please go to Stonington, ask for my personnel record. See if you can find a single even complaint, let alone one that was sustained, that I harassed anybody. The press did go to the Speaker of the House, who's a Democrat naturally, and the leader of their caucus, and said, has anybody ever expressed any concern over Representative Howard? No, absolutely not. They asked Rep. Candelora, the minority leader. No, absolutely not. These things are just completely untrue. And then he went so far as to say that there's a documented case where I encouraged doxing against Representative Paris. But the facts are, and anybody can go on my state rep Facebook page and go back to August 20th, I actually made a public statement condemning the doxing.
I remember it because I was trying to get Representative Paris on the program. He's still in hiding, I gather.
Yeah, so, but the point is, everything that Nick said was absolutely baseless. They were slanders, lies, and he did it through a TikTok video. The following Friday, 4 members of the House of Representatives stood with him while he doubled down on those lies and acknowledged he couldn't offer an example. They said, well, give us an example. Well, I don't have any. Well, what are you talking about then? It was disappointing to see 4 other legislators standing with him. Since then, I've talked to 3 of them who have said, listen, we didn't know what was going on. And I take them at their word on that they didn't know what was happening and why he was being interviewed. I take them at their word, and it happens. Things are happening fast. It was first thing Friday morning. It's likely they didn't know. And one of them specifically has apologized to me since then, said, listen, I apologize, but yeah, that's what he's doing. And he's, walking around and, hasn't taken the video down, made no effort to apologize.
So he's made no effort to apologize at all?
None.
Okay, don't worry. We'll work on that. So he's a worm. I mean, that's pretty much it. You don't have to say it. I will.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I don't have, listen, I've been in this game, Reese, for 6 years now. I've been, like I said, I've been a cop for 24.
Yeah.
One of the things that when I first came to the legislature that I had to get used to was I came from police work where your word was everything.
Right.
And, if you were lying or misrepresenting anything, you lose your career. Well, that's sort of par for the course in the legislature. And it's not, it sounds like a terrible thing to say, but there's a lot of spinning and inaccuracies and whatnot. You come to get used to those. But I have never in my life seen anybody, with such baseless, slanderous comments. It's not like he took something I said and spun it. Yeah, that happens. Okay. He just completely made stuff up out of nowhere, unsolicited. I didn't, it's not like he and I had a debate or a discussion. I don't think I said 2 words for the guy since he got elected.
It's interesting because he was challenged by, I think it was WTNH on this, and he was fumbling and mumbling all around when the reporter actually did their job. Let's give them an applause. Did their job and asked probative questions. He didn't really have a response. He didn't know what he was talking about, which is, again, what should happen. Why are they – I got to be honest with you because I do this all day. A lot of people made a big deal out of this. Is it because he's a Democrat and because he got caught telling clearly lies that there are people who are kind of fed up with this guy?
Yeah, I think that it's getting the attention because, as I said, I've been in the building for 6 years. It's outrageous. I mean, it's so out there that a 2-hour debate, a 4-hour debate, some theater in the debate. That's all par for the course, spin in different ways. But it was so far out there. And I think the other thing was, when you see legislators from across the aisle coming to my defense and saying, listen, Rep. Howard, I've heard no complaints. He works with everybody. I had a lobbyist here, if you're in the building, anybody's in the building, the lobbyists, they're in the building all day long. They watch everything that's going on. And I had one say to me, this guy has exponentially expanded your fan base because, A, the way you handled it, and B, when we heard it, we were like, of all people, Greg is like the easiest, nicest guy to get along with. Like, what is he thinking? And
yeah, I wish I could understand. This is one of those things. I know why liars lie, but I'd like to understand why he lied about this. I know the only reason why I can come to, Greg, and I'll look at it as the crux of his statement. If I can play that real quick, pardon me for a second. Let me get to this.
Sure.
I want to play a little bit of it. Hopefully I can get the volume tight on this. Here it is.
And what really drove me nuts with this amendment is that it was for stopping people from filming or inconveniencing a police officer.
Which I understand is not necessarily the truth here, but
that's not even close to true.
I know it wasn't. I know the way he frames it is even worse.
Yeah, so that's a lie to begin with. So if you read, and maybe he has trouble reading, I don't know, but if you read the amendment, it doesn't mention videoing at all. We have laws right now, Reese, on the books that if you with intent to harass or inconvenience, annoy, or alarm another person, or recklessly creating a risk of doing that, you involve yourself in tumultuous type behavior. The average person, every other profession in the world, the UPS driver, the teachers, everybody is protected by that law. But
That's right.
The police are not, right? So what the amendment sought to do was, if an individual, it doesn't even mention video recording, by the way.
Right.
It says if an individual initiates the contact, that was the first, thing that need to happen. Mm-hmm. The second thing is, so if the individual initiated the contact with the officer for the sole intent of causing inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm, and engage in that sort of tumultuous behavior. We're trying to say an officer is at directing traffic and some guy walks up to him and with a megaphone and goes, "You're a pig," and blows a whistle in his ear. Like, I don't understand why any human being should be subjected to that.
Right.
Now, I was very clear when I brought it out. If you get pulled over by a police officer, you get approached by a police officer, you're at a protest, any of those things, you're filming, you're mouthing off to the police officer, whatever. He initiated the contact.
Right.
Or she initiated the contact. This wouldn't apply. This is for these idiots that are getting their YouTube channels and their social media channels and whatnot, running around, finding some poor police officer who probably
to harass.
This poor officer just got done trying to console some old lady who found her husband deceased, or just had to do a removal with DCF and the kid's screaming, and his mind is weary, and they got to put up with this nonsense.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and so that's what it sought to do.
Let me finish the part, because this is where it got that drew everyone's ire. No, you're good.
Something that is apparently just blatantly unconstitutional to be able to try and do that, but also just shows how their might makes right. Because the guy who did it, he's a police officer. He's used his job to harass people. He's harassed other state representatives. He's harassed people who've run against him, people who he feels have crossed him. And that's how he views himself, is that he...
Now, let me tell you the reason why he did what he did. And I think you probably figured it out, okay? He is a police hater. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, he's a police hater. And he was pandering to his police hater friends. The activist class, the blacktivist class, all of them. That's what he was doing. So he didn't need any merit. He didn't need any, there's no veracity needed when you are going against the cops. I have what's called the 4 C's of bigotry. It's Christians. No, I should say it's Christians or Catholics, cops, Caucasians, and conservatives. Those are the 4 C's of bigotry. No, and it's allowed. So all he did was he could smear you because why did he start it off? We have this one representative. He's a police officer, which to him gives him license to smear you.
That's right. That's exactly you nailed it, Reese. That's exactly his impetus, and it goes back to the underlying amendment, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we like to say, well, we hold police to a higher standard. And I say that's a half a sentence. We hold police to a higher standard when they've done something wrong.
That's right.
But when they're out trying to do their job, like everybody else in the country, we hold them to a lower standard. Nobody else in the world would be asked to be subjected to that in their workday, ever.
Yeah.
But we dehumanize and we devalue the lives and the mental health of police officers by allowing these things to happen. And out of this building, because I'm at the legislature now at the Capitol, the continued rhetoric from the governor's office right on down about law enforcement is just contributing to that. And then he says, the governor says, well, we have a recruitment retention problem. What can we do? I don't know. You stop. That'd be step one. Can you give us, and it's just like you talk about 397. 397, the federal government doesn't care what the state legislature passes.
Exactly.
This administration does not care. That bill is aimed at further restricting state and local cops, further disparaging state and local cops, and leveraging the ire that the public has towards ICE to do just that.
Exactly.
That's exactly what they
But it
do.
has no teeth. That's why I don't even understand why do it. Why all the pageantry? Do they really think that anyone in the state believes that? Unless he believes that there's a small constituency that is in our state that is sitting around and going, we passed the law, because they're all going to get a rude awakening when ICE travels through.
Well, it created some teeth for a police officer in Hamden, Connecticut, trying to do his job.
Yeah.
Because if the police officers pull somebody over near one of these protected areas they created, like a cemetery, for example.
Wow.
And it turns out that the complaint that the officer was investigating turned out to be a civil complaint, the officer's lost his immunity. He's liable. He's liable for that particular stop. Even if at the time of the stop he had a good faith belief it was a criminal in nature, and it passes the test of Terry v. Ohio and Wren v. U.S. and he's made a good stop, Connecticut's created a cause of action.
I cannot believe that this guy. Well, you know what? No, I'm not going to say it. He's got no shot in hell for re-election. This guy. This is the dumbest. Imagine. This is the dumbest legislation ever passed.
Who you talking about, Lamont? You mean?
Yeah, Lamont. Yes.
Oh yeah. Listen, I think, and then in the primary here, we have 3 gubernatorial candidates, as you all know, and I think 2 of them are obvious front runners, and I think both of them bring something different to the table, and not to take the tagline from one of them, but I mean, they're both younger, active people who have proven their ability to win in blue districts. Aaron in New Britain, Ryan down in Fairfield County as a senator. They've proven their ability to, stick to who they are and message things in a way that garners new voters. So people say, well, we got a big blue wave coming. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But I'll tell you right now, and if I could just use your radio plug station, we have still some House seats that are Democrats are running unopposed.
Yeah.
If that's in your district, please reach out to me. Call me. We'll talk about running for office. I'll just say this, if I can, Reese. I've been up here for 6 years. I'm a very active legislator. I don't just phone it in. I do it against a 40-hour-a-week job as a detective, and I raise 2 sons with my wife, and I live an hour and 15 minutes away from the Capitol. So if I can manage it and come out here and try to make a difference one day after day, I think most people can. So if you're frustrated and you have a Democrat state rep who's running unopposed, all I can say to you is join the fight. Come on up here. We'd love to have you.
I love that message, and thank you for sharing it. You can have all the time in the world to share that message. That's one of the biggest beefs that we have about all of those Democrats running unopposed. Greg Howard, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, man. Keep up the good fight. Don't let
anytime.
Don't let guys like this keep talking hot to you. You got to let these guys know what the deal is. But I think he's running away and scurrying. We'll see whether or not he tries it again.
Thanks, Reese. Have a great week, my
friend.
Thank
you, man. You too.
Bye.
All right. We're going to get up out of here. We'll get into weather and traffic in about a minute. Stand by for that. But when we return, we'll talk more about this bill. We'll take your phone calls, and then I got to answer some text messages here. 5 people, Jerry? 5 people? I got personal guests that want to come to the debate. Boy, they're not going to like where they sit. Anyway, we'll get into that also. Well, are we giving away tickets today? I guess we are, right? Okay, yeah, we're giving away tickets. So stand by for that. That's coming up soon. We're going to give away tickets for you to go to the debate for the 11th Commandment GOP gubernatorial debate at the private event room at Stadium 15 in Farmington, brought to you by AARP Connecticut. So we'll let you know when to call in, so stand by for that. Also, when we come up, stupidest thing I read today, I had to switch it up. I had a stupidest thing, but I just read a great story that is really the stupidest thing I've read today, and it involves Eric Swalwell. Stand by for that. Also, the Connecticut child advocate, she's the acting child advocate, Christina Gio, released a document last week about a child who committed suicide an hour after the DCF officer or agent showed up or left their home. I've got some questions about that, and I'm going to reach out to you and see if you think the same thing I do. So stand by for that. Again, thank you, Greg Howard, for calling into the program. Here's Mark Christopher. He's getting you home. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
You know the drill. This thing doesn't work.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
The stupidest thing I read today, I had to switch it up because of this New York Post article that just came through about Eric Swalwell. Folks, guys in particular, this one, all of the guys who are listening to me right now, if you were in your 20s, maybe even in your 30s, now probably in your 20s, because if you got married in your 20s, you probably didn't do this, but if you got married in your 30s, you probably did. And it may have not have been a smart deal. Anyway. So, Swalwell has been known to do a lot of very X-rated things behind his wife's back. But some of the things that are being revealed by him and others is definitely a no-no. This guy's in he's in hell of trouble. But a Swalwell was once referred to in Congress as the Snapchat king of Congress. And he regularly slid into women's DMs. For those of you in the older class who do not know what that means, that is direct messages. In essence, instead of sending a post to your son or your daughter or your grandkid, sending it right on their page, this is a private message directly to them. So in Snapchat, they have a private message area, which is called DMs, direct message, and shared unsolicited nudes of himself with several exchanges that initially seemed innocent but quickly veered into the explicit territory. Swalwell attempted to, one of his conquests, a young lady, a waitress, as young as 19 years old in Los Angeles, who was stunned to receive a LinkedIn message from the powerful Democrat lawmaker. Another young congressional staffer said that Swalwell sent her flirty messages on Snapchat starting in 2021. After she left Capitol Hill, the two of them had exchanges in hotels over the years, and subsequently he sent her nude photos of himself and with videos of him taking care of himself. We'll use that term. That the woman later showed to CNN. That's right. Yeah, that's right. This was not to his wife. This was to former staffers and other women as well. They say his stories would be like this. I can't read that. He had extramarital contact with women. He's not denying that. Swalwell's attorneys told CNN, but that's very different from engaging in non-consensual stuff that he has been accused of. The former Democrat rising star, even known to hold work meetings at local Hooters in Dublin, California, which allegedly creeped out colleagues. Boy, was this guy brazen. It's got to be the stupidest person in the world, which is so typical. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher's here. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
I played a lot of trivia at Hooters back in the 90s. Oh, yeah.
You did?
The one in Wethersfield. Yeah. Trivia, I think it was Tuesday night.
You know what I find
week.
Stunning about the whole Hooters thing?
Okay.
That they went bankrupt.
Right.
I'm still trying to figure that out. No,
well,
I don't know what they could have done, but maybe just
all those young guys got married, and their wives wouldn't let us go there anymore. That's one of the reasons.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we'll get to your phone calls in a second. In fact, you know what? If I get them out of the way, then I can actually go into this real quick after the fact. Let's go to Stephen Meriden. How you doing, Steve?
Hey, Reese, you woke me up today. Your tribute to Martin. Here's my tribute to Martin.
Yes, sir.
He got no home. I know baby wrong. I'm alone. 45 years of nothing.
Well, he did contribute something, Steve. He contributed something. It just wasn't all good.
That's my tribute. That's my tribute. You know.
God bless you, man. I appreciate you.
I'm losing my home. I'm losing my car. I'm losing everything.
Indeed. Be safe out there, Steve. Let's go to Rudy. What's going on?
Hey, Reese.
Yes, sir.
I just want to point out that Rosa DeLauro has been in Congress for Connecticut
35 years.
1985. No. 1985. 41 years.
Was that 41? Okay.
So, Connecticut voters, you're a bunch of idiots. So that's all I can say about that.
Come on, show some love here.
I do. I love my conservative brothers and sisters in Connecticut.
Yeah. But you're talking about the ones that keep voting for these guys. Hey, look.
Yeah, the 68% of the state that elects these people. I don't understand it. I mean, I grew up in Chicago. Do you think being a conservative in Chicago is an easy thing?
No, it's easier
not.
Today, buddy. Today it's easier.
Oh,
you go from Lori Lightfoot to Brad Johnson. Trust me, it's easy to be a conservative in Chicago.
Oh, and my girl Christina Maxwell is gaining. She's really gaining big gain to get the congressional district that has the south side of Chicago. And
listen, people keep telling me this nonsense about, even Representative Greg Howard said, there's a supposed blue wave. Hell no. No. I'm like, again, call me crazy, but no one's voting for this again. It is unsustainable to stay in Connecticut at this level.
The blacks in Chicago are revolting.
Yes.
And it's 48% of the population. And there's not enough white liberal progressives there because Chicago's like 48% black and the other 52% is Hispanic and white.
No, you're right.
And only the white people vote Democrat in Chicago. And they're doomed. But anyone listening right now, Christiane Maxwell is running for the Illinois District 1, and she needs help. I don't care if you just donate $5, but she's on X. If she flips a district, Obama's old district, when he was a rep.
Oh, yeah.
If she flips that district as a black woman who's married, she's not a single mom. She's a black woman, educated, married, homeschooling her kids. Wait.
Is she Kamala Harris, Ketanji Brown Jackson married, or is she married? You don't know what I mean by that, do you?
She's married.
Is she married to a black guy?
Yes.
Okay. Because both of those women are married to white men.
Hey, if I had my way, Reese, I'd be slipping right into the south side of Chicago saying, hey, babe, once you go white, you don't go back.
Yeah, because that's rhyming. Well, Rudy.
But no, she's a beautiful, smart woman, homeschooling her kids. And she's just tired of the crap, the gangbangers. She's tired of the woke madness, the immigrants taking over the schools. She's running for Congress and she's homeschooling 3 kids and working.
Incredible.
So, I'm like, if anyone listening could just go to her page and just donate, $1, $5, because the Democrat right now is the DNC is behind him. Who's
the challenger? Do you know?
Oh, I can't think of his name.
Okay, I'll look it up.
It's a white guy in the ghetto, is what it is. And he has $500,000.
If it's a white guy running as a Democrat in the ghetto, I'll forget about it. Blacks are supporting him.
Wait, Reese, the suburbs. Well, 2/3 of the district are white suburbs, and he's got $500,000 to her $50,000.
Wow.
He doesn't do any of that. It's just ridiculous. I do want to say, though, like, Looney oversaw the 35 years of the demise of Connecticut.
It sure did.
So, but that's thanks to all the idiots.
Hey, like I said, I am going to be watching every one of the weekend shows as they pay their tributes to the lion.
Are you watching Florida?
What's that?
Are you watching Florida?
No, there's no reason to. You guys got the whole thing locked. You're boring to me. You guys have just got the whole thing locked.
Yeah, the big debate right now is the 2 districts. A Jewish guy, I can't think of his name. It's like Markowitz versus Debbie Weiserman Schultz.
Ooh.
There's only one seat, and they combine their two districts into one.
Yeah, and it's over.
It's Jewish against Jewish. It's a woman against a man. They're going to end up with 3 seats if they're lucky. Oh. And all the liberals are going crazy. They're telling, I don't know if you see it on X, they're saying that DeSantis broke state constitutional law. But I'm pretty sure when the Supreme Court says you can't have districts based on race,
it already did.
Right, and it supersedes state constitutional law, right?
That's exactly right. They can't exactly. Right. They cannot ignore federal law that says you can't. I mean, that's the reason why Louisiana had to push back its primary.
I'm off on Mondays, and I get attacked because in my bio I have Army medic veteran, and I'm being told I'm a disgrace to being a Christian and a veteran because my oath. Because I support DeSantis, who broke the state constitution and broke his military oath.
I wouldn't.
The Supreme Court said you have to undistrict gerrymandered black districts. You can't base it on race.
Yeah, that's exactly
following federal law.
That's it,
and I'm supporting it.
That's it.
I just get attacked all the time.
Don't sweat the attacks, Rudy.
Oh,
Let me get Fred in here real quick so I can wrap up the break. God bless you.
Middletown?
Yeah, Fred in Middletown's coming up.
Hey, he owes me for a cup of coffee 8 years ago. He does.
I'm sure that if it's Starbucks coffee, that means
the Wesleyan bookstore on Main Street. He owes me for a cup of coffee and a croissant, and I don't want the money.
Let me get to him.
I just want to follow on social media. Make sure he does it.
You got it. Fred, you heard him.
I'm off of Facebook. You got to. My card had expired, and you got to log in, so I don't even go to the library. This is it for the radio. That's it.
What's up, buddy?
I have a poem. Oh, and also, they do steal. It's not just bad voters here in Connecticut. Democrats do steal.
That's right. They do steal. Damn right.
Poem.
Yes, sir.
It's called The Reese Guy, Part 2.
Oh!
So to begin with, that's Mr. The Reese Guy to you, brother. That might become the proper appellation much later, like over coffee, maybe. But between now and then, or in the meantime, as one might say, why so informal? Why so familiar? Oh, I don't mind waiting. Beauty before age, by all means, call on her. But when you do, finally, in your beneficence, deign to call on me, might I humbly solicit that you eschew the excessive informality? Or to put it in white speak, don't patronize me, bro. But of course, the tale of the tape tells it. A black reporter spurned, prompting a lesson to be taught. Begging the question, was a lesson learned? We may never know that. One thing, however, somewhere in Race Hustlerville tonight, a bag is missing a cat. Thank you.
Good job. Thank you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Oh, man. Poet laureate Fred in Middletown. I'm going to ask a question. If you guys want to opine about this, you can, but I'm going to ask you to sort of put on your sleuthing cap here. Because Connecticut's acting child advocate, Christina Gio, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. I haven't had the chance to meet her yet or to talk to her, but I think it's Gio, G-H-I-O. She took an unusual step last week when she released a public letter to the Department of Children and Families, highlighting a child's death that she feared would otherwise disappear without notice. This is a child's death, she said, that would have gone completely unnoticed if we had not published something, and I could not allow this. This is what Gio said to the Connecticut Mirror. The letter describes a child who died by an apparent suicide just last week, according to the report. The death happened less than an hour after a DCF staff member made a home visit. During that visit, the child told the caseworker they did not feel safe and asked to come into foster care. Despite a lengthy history with the Child Welfare Agency, unstable housing for the family, and the fact that none of the children in the home were enrolled in school, DCF decided to leave the child with the parent. The agency told the child that coming into care was not an option. The child subsequently took their life an hour later. Gail said her office has now opened a full investigation into every detail of the case. She questioned how, given everything DCF already knew about the family and its own policies, that the decision was made. The letter also points to broader problems. Gio's office reviews critical incident reports every day, and what they are seeing right now is deeply concerning. Casework quality at DCF has been declining. Workers are missing required steps, failing to gather full information, and making decisions that leave children in unsafe homes. Sweetheart, you didn't need the report to do this. I knew that, and I'm new here. I've been here 6 months, and I knew that exactly about the DCF, and I've never entered the building. But here's my question that I'm asking you to sleuth for me. Was there any published reports of a child suicide within the last week? Anywhere. A child committing suicide would reach astronomical levels of media attention. A child committing suicide? Yet, no published reports. So, I know I'm going to get into trouble for even speculating it. But I'm asking. And if somebody knows, reach me at reaseontheradio.com. And I may say the new and improved reaseontheradio.com. I did it myself. Let me know if something about this story sounds like it may be associated with the Eve Rogers case in Enfield. Because I believe that it is. I could be wrong. But everything myself and Adam 12 are pointing to sounds like these two cases are one and the same. The suicide and Eve Rogers. Again, if you know anything, let me know, reaseontheradio.com, or even hit me up in the chat room. There are no reports, and I looked everywhere. There are no reports within the last week or even 2 weeks of a child committing suicide. None. And that is not something that wouldn't end up on the blotter somewhere. So, I don't know. I'm doing a little sleuthing. We'll see what we can find out. Let's get a check of traffic and weather. Coming up, music news right here on WTIC. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home anyway.
From politics to news to music to movies and anything above the sun and outer space and beyond, it's Reese on the radio. Damn, he's good. Only on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Yeah, we are back. Okay, we did get an update from a phone call. It is unconfirmed, but we'll check into it. Someone did call that said they had knowledge of the story about the child who committed suicide after DCF left. We're checking into that, so we'll see whether or not. The person says that, they're confirming it, but we'll see. And with that, let's get to music news. News. Today, celebrating birthdays, Lance Bass from the popular boy band group NSYNC. He's the gay guy, the gay one. Yes, I can say that. It's not offensive anymore. He turns 47. It's like, by the way, it's not a bad thing to be gay. It's just he is gay. Just so you're wondering which of the NSYNC ones. It's not the fat one. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. His name is Fatone. That's Joey Fatone. I mistakenly read his name as Fat One. My apologies. But anyway, Lance Bass turns 47. Hard to believe. Wow. I wonder how old Justin Bieber is. I mean, not Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake. Anyway, Mike Dirt from Green Day. He's the bassist. He turns 54. Greg Alexander from the New Radicals. He's the front man, of course. He turns 56. Randy Travis, country music Hall of Famer. He was born in 1959. He turned 67. Mick Mars of Motley Crue turns 75. It's hard for me to watch hardcore rock guys turn 75. And Jackie Jackson, brother of Jermaine and Tito. He turned 75 today. Congratulations to him. Also, celebrating milestones and anniversaries, PJ Harvey's Rid of Me is 33 years old, came out in 1993. Run DMC's Down with the King also turns 33 years. I still love that album. Queen's Hot Sauce came out in 1982, 44 years ago. Echo and the Bunnymen, another group that I love, celebrate 42 years of Ocean Rain, which came out in 1984. The Cure's album in 1982 called Pornography. Yes, unfortunately, that's what it was titled. Came out in 1982. That celebrates its 44th anniversary as well. Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill hit number 1 in the UK album chart. Madonna's Hard Candy hit number 1 in the UK charts in 2008. And Led Zeppelin kicked off their record-breaking 1973 North American tour. Today, May the 4th be with you, a massive cultural and commercial milestone for them all. Let's get some weather and traffic with our good friend Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Led Zeppelin. That's got to be a band you listen to at least.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
You know, every day is a learning experience, especially for me, which I love. I am not afraid to learn something new. How ironic is this? It's May 4th, and it's May the 4th be with you day. And everyone's got out these wild trivia, pieces out. Someone just sent me one. This one is from Instagram, and it's these interesting things you don't know about Star Wars. And wouldn't you know it, one of the last things that's on this list is this one. Blows my mind. Apparently, today is Lance Bass's birthday from NSYNC. And today, they show NSYNC filmed a cameo in the prequel Attack of the Clones. And George Lucas cut it out. According to the story, Rick McCallum, the producer, actually had NSYNC on set and filmed them as Jedis for the final climactic Jedi fight scene. And because they were going to be in it, apparently there was all this fanfare about it. But George Lucas said that they filmed it and asked them to be in it without his permission. And so he cut them out of the final edit, which brings me back into favor of George Lucas. Good decision. Jar Jar Binks, not so much, but you at least had half a brain. Half a brain to put him out of there. By the way, I want to read some of the comments because you guys put them here. Carmela says the new Radicals were awesome. Craig in the car says that Mick Mars looked 75 when Dr. Feelgood came out by Motley Crue. Ironically, one of my favorite tracks by Motley Crue. And Nate says that Randy Travis movie Black Dog with Meatloaf. Yeah, Randy Travis actually did some pretty good acting work as well as Meatloaf. Sans the Rocky Horror Picture Show. But Meatloaf did some really, really good acting in his day. I was really, really fond of Meatloaf. I thought he was such a kind of a triple threat, if you will. I thought he was fantastic, just as an artist, a writer, all that good stuff. Anyway, so this story's a little crazy. There's a video of a pregnant woman who has gone viral, and she put speakers up against her belly, and she's playing the famous ABBA song, Give Me a Man After Midnight. And in the video, she is stating that the reason why she's playing ABBA to her belly is not because she wants her son to be an ABBA fan. She says she wants her son to be gay. That's right. She said, my son, Forrest, exclusively listens to Sarah Carpenter, hopes are very high for him being gay, she says. My son officially came out a few months ago. Big cheering emoji, she says. This was what she said about her other son. My son was born to Dancing Queen. I have high hopes for him. This is real deal. She is hoping that she can have a gay son. Now, there's a movie I can't remember if it's a movie or a TV show. One of you ladies are going to have to tell me in the chat room. I know that this is, maybe it was satire. I have a strange feeling it's not, but I know it's from a movie. That there are these moms in the movie or this TV show who are ultra excited about their gay sons. And they parade, I guess these particular women were parading around themselves. They have their own little crew where they brag about their gay sons. Because I guess they say that they're socially acceptable. More so now having gay sons. I don't know whether or not it's a TV show. I know I've seen it in passing. I don't know where, but I'm almost certain it is. It's either a television show or a movie. But I've seen this. And I got to tell you, I don't. This goes right into the designer baby question. And a question that I asked back in 2008 in Boston. There was some story in the Boston Globe. I know it came from the Associated Press, or maybe it was just like something that bled over from the New York Times into the Boston Globe. But I was reading it, and I was reading it passingly. I was just like, what is this story? And according to the story, scientists had figured out that there was a genome or a gene of some sort that they could somehow identify the gay gene. And I'm sure that it was bupkis. I'm sure that it was phony science, crackpot, if you will. I'm certain it was. And when I read it, I kept saying to myself, You know, at the time in 2008, that was a big deal. There were a lot of complaints about it. Many of the usual rabble-rousers, the civil rightsers, were making a big to-do about white parents who were going into fraternity clinics and hospitals trying to have the perfect baby, trying to ensure that they had the right gene splicing. They called it, again, designer babies is what they called them. And people were saying that was, the engineering alone was somewhat off-putting. I tend to agree, but to each his own. You shouldn't mess with God's creation. That's my view. I know that others are going to have others. I totally get that. But I just don't think you should do that. But there are parents who just, they want a child that's going to be Ivy League, probably the best athlete, probably going to have the best chances at life. It's going to be highly educated, stuff like that. And I think a lot of it was inspired by the movie Twins, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito. I love when Danny DeVito says in a movie, so what was I? The leftovers? But that whole thing, yeah, I get it. It's a trend. But I asked the question in Boston, and I thought it was a good question, and the response was huge. If you knew that, like, say, during your ultrasound, the doctor said, we're gonna pull out some embryonic fluid, we'll do some testing. We're going to find out some details about your child, high rate of this, that, sickle cell, pneumonia, things like that. And find those things out. And if we find something, perhaps we could do something early on. And so I asked the question, if indeed, according to the article in the Boston Globe, they found the gay gene, would you say to the doctors, hey, cut that right out, cut her out? Or what would you do? Like, if you knew ahead of time? It's almost like predicting the future for your child. Sounds crazy. Sounds insane. But for me, I'm throwing it out there. For me, it's a bit tempting. It is. Only because somebody asked me not too long ago, I think it was Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk were trying to find a way for the body to live forever or for more than 100 years, something along that time. It's like, would you do it? You're like tempting God. You're like going against God if you do it. I'm like, kind of interested. I kind of want to see what happens. Like, if I could live for 200 years, yeah, I can do it for one more. Why not? I want to see where this whole thing ends up. That's all I'm saying. So the question to me is, would you do it? If you could. If you could. 25th says, first trans dresser was not trans in Hollywood's... I don't know what that means. I think he says nope, that he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. I don't know. Let's bring in Evan. What's going on? Evan's back. He's getting out of work early?
Yes, I am, sir.
So what would you do if you could predict the future of your future child and, you get a little test and find out your child's going to be this, that, or the third?
Yeah, I think as a blanket statement, I am just not good with eugenics.
Yeah.
And I think most people aren't okay with it. I mean...
Hold on. On the macro, Evan, I don't think so on the micro.
Yeah, on the micro, I mean, if anybody calls in, I'd love to hear it, and says if they could find the gay gene, if that is a thing, and they would want to, cut that out, like, are there still people who aren't good with gay people now?
Yeah, listen to me. That was the whole point. That was exactly the whole experiment back in 2008, was to test the waters on, while everyone's running around saying, it was like, no, I'm okay. And here you had this opportunity where it was going to happen, where you sat when it touched home, right? Because we can live our lives and go, yeah, they're over there. I don't have to care. But then when it comes close to home, you have to really check yourself and go, where are your bias? If indeed, like, of course, we all want to believe we're not biased. But then when it comes close to home, what do you do when the rubber really meets the road? Where do you go?
On this one specifically, I'm totally with you. Like, I would love to see, I think unfortunately there's a certain percentage of your listeners who would absolutely want to cut out the gay gene. Like White Mike. White Mike is totally for it.
I don't think there's a question there at all. I don't think.
And then the question is why?
Yeah, but then you may be going into dark territory.
Yeah, I want to see where people's darkness.
No, I don't want to.
We can deal with it.
I don't. No. Listen, see, Evan, that's where you and I have this issue. You've got to be able. See, you and I deal with the world in different ways. Nothing against you, but you and I look at the world in different ways. I'm okay with somebody having their bigotry. I know it's not. It doesn't feel good, and I know it's kind of messed up, but I'm okay with it because I think it's real, and I think that we shouldn't live a lie or be forcing ourselves to be people that we're not, and almost in spite of ourselves.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. The reason I want to see where the bigotry lies is so if somebody is saying we should allow people to cut out the gay gene, I want to make sure that we can legislate that to not be the case.
Oh, you want to legislate that no one actually cuts out the gay gene.
Yeah, you can be a bigot, and I'm totally cool with it just like you are, Reese. I just want to know so we don't let it affect the population.
Yeah, but hold on. There's a little bit of that, I would even, it's so funny because if this were to ever happen, Evan, can you imagine the Supreme Court case? Because it extends to it's almost like the homeschooling argument we're having here in Connecticut. Right? Yeah. So parents are saying they should dictate who teaches their child, who gives their kid guidance, right, in their lives. If they want to teach them religion, they'll teach them religion. If they want to teach them this way of life, we're going to teach them this way of life, this political belief. That should be them. And the state should not be allowed to legislate that. This would be one of those Supreme Court cases where I would agree with you. It would be such a wedge issue. Because there would
be, and the slippery slope thing that you're kind of getting at, then it's like, listen, I am totally for parents' rights in a lot of circumstances. But if somebody said, I want indefinite parents' rights for things like, well, if I want to have my child do child labor for my neighbor for no cost, like I should be allowed to have my 4-year-old work a 60-hour week if I so choose. Like we're going to have to start picking and choosing.
Well, no, but let's go back to the fact that it is a baby, right? Because remember, this is the important argument, and I think this is where the argument in the Supreme Court will be very difficult for these justices. In fact, I almost feel like a split decision. Thank God it's, 9 justices. But here's my point. The argument could be made if a woman is allowed by the state to abort her child, why would we put that restriction on someone who cuts out a gay gene in the child?
I see exactly what you're saying. It could definitely go further down the road. I think that's what a lot of people are hoping.
You mean they're hoping for the latter? They're hoping for the latter where they might be able...
I think they're hoping for the latter there. And by the way, before I know you got to get to traffic in a second, I just want to thank you. So I'm still eating bagels out of the freezer.
No doubt. Are you talking about between rounds?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Our proud sponsor here, and I'm good, because those bagels are made with no preservatives, so they're always really, really good. And in fact, I still got some at home, too.
The downside is my wife calls it the MAGA bagels, and that we took it away from some of the MAGA folks.
That's all right. Tell her they're MAGA good.
Hey, love it.
Thanks, Evan.
Thanks, Reese.
You got it, sir. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's true. It goes into that same argument. Like, if a woman's right to abort her child, if that isn't, if that gets decided by the state, you would almost have to say, if I'm a parent and I find out my kid has a gay gene, I would go, get rid of that. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy and off the beaten path, but I don't know. It popped into my head. We got to take a break. We'll come back. If you want to call in about this, if you want to end the show on this, please have at it. I want to hear from you. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. The roads are, I don't know, good, bad. We'll find out. Mark Christopher's here. He's in the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app. Search WTIC News Talk 1080 and tap earlier today to get started.
I guess there's only one question left to ask.
Now, what have we learned?
What have we learned?
What have we learned from this little fable?
So what have we learned, if nothing else, children?
So what have we learned, huh? So what have we learned from that?
So what have we learned here today? What have we learned so far?
We've learned that there may be some people out there who would remove the gay gene. At least that's what I'm seeing online. If they could. We learned that Martin Looney is finally leaving office. He is going to retire. I've done enough damage. I've done enough. Yes, taxes are high. People have left. It's time for me to go. I've ruined families. I've ruined finances. Now it's time for me to take a break. Here is what's his name? Where's this lunatic at? Yeah. Here's William Tong.
You can't measure his impact on the people of this state.
You're damn right. You are so right, William.
You can't measure his impact on the people of this state. It truly is immeasurable. And we're
He's saying all the right words. It's truly immeasurable, the amount of damage that he's done. Oh, William Tong. Anyway, we also learned that DCF is a joke, but I know that bill's still going to pass today. Yeah, I know it's still going to pass. That homeschooling bill is going to pass, and it's going to have to go to the Supreme Court. So now we got 2, 5044, and this one. What is it, 5638, 5438, whatever it's called. Whatever. It's got to go to the Supreme Court. The suing must commence. We learned that. We definitely learned that. We learned that Lamont is a bigot, as far as I'm concerned. Or he just doesn't know better. Maybe he's so old and so far into his 70s that he doesn't realize that black people are no longer afraid of the white man? Maybe he doesn't know that. Maybe he doesn't know that people of color don't run around trembling in fear. That's just women. That's just women. Sure, they may be minority women, but yes, they don't have any men in the house. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, tell me otherwise. Tell me about all of the intact families. What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
MAGA bagels. I like the name of that. MAGA bagels. You know, I should have asked Evan whether or not, even though his wife calls them MAGA bagels, I should have asked him, does she eat any? Does she have any? That would be, at least he does. At least he does. Maybe, just say to her, Evan, it's like, hey, come in. It tastes glorious. Just try the MAGA bagel. Anyway, let's get to the phones before we get up out of here. Sam is in Waterbury. What's going on, sir?
How you doing, Reese?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. I got a couple things.
Yep.
First, may the fourth be with you.
Yes.
Actually, I'm more of a Mel Brooks fan, so may the Schwartz be
may
with
the
you.
Schwartz be with you, sir.
Okay. Child labor. Get your kids enrolled in Scouts.
Yeah.
Write it off as a service project.
Not bad. Not bad. What? And I don't even know whether or not people. I mean, do kids still do Scouts?
Yes.
Did I say? Okay. All right. Well, there we go.
Yeah, it's changed a bit.
I know. What do you got? What else you got?
Also, maybe Roland can help me out with this.
Okay.
Friday, you broke my heart.
How?
Johnny Cash.
What about him? I love Johnny Cash. All I said was that I love Ring of Fire.
Well, he brings out sadness in people. He brings out, wonderful, wonderful memories.
Mm-hmm.
But he also brings a smile to my heart.
Okay. Please tell me it's a girl named Sue. Or a boy named Sue, sorry.
Nope. One piece at a time.
Great song. Great song. Hey, look, I love Johnny Cash. I do. And I tell people that I love Johnny Cash. But I'm sorry, it's a thing for me. Ring of Fire was just, I remember it vividly. I was living in Manhattan, 12th Street, 7th Avenue, and it was a bar called the Village Idiot. It was a country bar, and all they had in the jukebox was country music. And it was me and 4 other of my friends we were all part of a hip-hop group then, if you could believe it. We went to that bar religiously every Friday and Saturday night and played pool and drank beer and played Waylon Jennings way too much. With the reason I improved these guys' music repertoire, because all these guys ever listened to was hip-hop and R&B. By the time I'm telling you that year was over, these guys loved everything from Jolene to, The Gambler. They knew more of those songs. They were singing them outside of the bar. I broadened their horizons.
That's awesome. I also love his Ghost Rider, his version of Ghost Riders in the Storm.
Yeah. Listen, everything that man touched was absolutely untouchable after he did it.
Yes.
And that's what was the brilliance of him, because, I can't say he wasn't a singer, but I can't say he was, if you get my meaning.
Oh, yeah.
He sort of had.
And the one that really touched my heart the most, Hurt.
What's that? Hurt. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, good stuff. Thank you, Sam.
Hey, listen, I'm going to let you go, man.
You got it, man. I appreciate you. We can do this all day. Thank you, man. Let's go to Stevie V. What's up, buddy?
Well, Johnny Cash one time brought a bunch of baby chicks to a hotel and let them loose. He had a good sense of humor.
He did.
Somebody else also, a body shop had put together that Cadillac one piece at a time and gave it to him. I remember reading that story.
Oh, wow.
Whoops. Hey, a couple things from last week. You mentioned something about, people crossing the border with Roseanne. That's actually really it almost stopped at this point.
Oh yeah. When she was talking about crossing the border to get the $15,000 to $16,000 in the EBT card.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then as far as 86-46 goes, when Biden heard about that, I understand he said 86-46 hike. Two more things really quick.
Yeah.
They don't want the ICE agents at the polls for the day of voting. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, illegal immigrants are not supposed to vote anyway.
Yeah,
right?
That's okay. I mean, illegal immigrants don't vote at the polls. They do absentee ballots.
There you go. But one last thing. We should have a poll on what state Lamont's going to go to when he's no longer governor.
I'm going with Tennessee.
Tennessee? Right.
I don't know why. It was just one that it just came out there. I was just thinking, where would he go? It sounds like Tennessee. Some odd reason, I have this feeling Tennessee's on his map.
It very well could be. I have to give it some thought for my guess.
Maybe he just wants to be close to a loved one or two. You know what I mean?
There you go. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
See you later.
You
Bye.
got it. Yeah. Oh, Lamont. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to cover with him. This election is going to be huge. By the way, I can't really tell you this now in full detail, but you may have heard that there is going to be, you know what, I can't because I feel like I would be letting you in on something and then you'd be looking for it and then you'll be asking me, what is it? I don't like doing that. It's a horrible tease. It's good. News is dropping. Just look at it that way. Don't forget, we've got, you know what? We didn't even give them away. 860-522-WTIC. My bad. 860-522-9842. If you want to win a pair of tickets to go to the 11th Commandment GOP gubernatorial debate, call up right now at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. So you can be there with us at the private event room at Stadium 15 in Farmington, Connecticut. It is going to be a bunch of fun for you, for me, and, of course, the candidates who will be there vying for the GOP gubernatorial candidacy. So make sure you go to it. It is brought to you, of course, by our good friends at AARP Connecticut as well. So get on the phones, and we will get you in on those tickets as well. On tomorrow's program, I'm going to get more details on this story about where the child was that committed suicide. If it indeed is true, based upon the phone call we got here, it is not associated with Eve Rogers. It is involving another child. But I'm going to get Mark in West Hartford. I almost said Mark Christopher. I'm going to get Mark in West Hartford on it. To see if we can find out some information with the information I just gathered. So stand by for that and much, much more. Also, there was the phone ban inside of schools. That is an interesting story because we were told that these phone bans were supposed to improve student work inside the classroom. We're going to see an increase in grades, more focus. The New York Times has a very, very long article about this. Turns out not so much. We'll talk about that as well. Craig in the car says that Kenny Rogers always said he was never a good singer, but he knew how to pick good songs. But he sang, but he wasn't really a good singer. Yeah, did you really think Kenny Rogers wasn't a good singer? I always thought he was a good singer. I think he could carry a note. I think that's what it was. Kenny Rogers had great writers. And if Kenny Rogers is a horrible singer, just because, I'm just going to throw this out there, that would almost be like saying Lionel Richie was a horrible singer. Now, why do I say that? Is it because Lionel Richie wrote the song Lady for Kenny Rogers? Part. But be honest. When you listen to the song Lady by Kenny Rogers, can you hear Lionel Richie singing it? Of course you can. I think both of those guys had the same voice. I do. I really do. I think they both had that same voice. And Kenny Rogers had really, really good writers. And he also did a lot of good, like, this sounds crazy, but I don't remember who it was that I told this to. And it may have been Dolly Parton. If it wasn't Dolly Parton, it must have been Kenny Rogers I said it to. But when I was growing up, I thought they were married. I don't know why. It's just some weird reason I thought the two of them were. I was watching something where the two of them were singing. Maybe it was Solid Gold or something. I don't know. Some show. And the two of them were singing together, and they just had this look in their eyes as they were singing to each other, looking directly in each other's eyes. Like there's an audience around them, but these two couldn't keep their eyes off each other. Are they married? I always thought they were married. Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton. It just seemed like they were a match made in heaven. This sounds crazy. I had just dropped to see what condition my condition was in. Yeah. The Gambler was one of the best songs. Truly, and you know what? 25th, let me tell you. That song, as I was just describing to Stevie V, when I said that I had my buddies, we were all in a rap group together. That was their favorite song. They sang The Gambler everywhere they went. They loved the storytelling in that song, everything. What did I say? It's Islands in the Stream. Did I say Islands in the Dream? What did I call it? Islands in the Dream? Or Islands in the Stream. Yes, that's the song. Yes. Islands in the Stream, Carmela. Yes, that was the song. I saw them performing that, and I went, those people are married. They've got to be. I did not get the same feeling when Barbra Streisand and Barry Gibb did that song Guilty, which, by the way, is a great song. A damn good duet. Stands up. That song stands up. You don't have to like Barbra Streisand or Barry Gibb to love that song. That song is great. Those two songs, I will say, both of those songs always, Islands in the Stream and Guilty. Great songs, great duets. I'm trying to think of a Sheena Easton. Didn't Sheena Easton have a duet with somebody? I don't know why I can't think of it now. I know there was My Baby Takes the Morning Train, but that Dolly and Kenny were both actors and performers. They sure were. They sure were. They convinced me. I was sold on that. I said, nah, they got to be married. I really did believe that. One of the few couples I knew were married. The only other couple I knew that had that kind of chemistry was Lee Majors and Farrah Fawcett. Undeniable. Dolly Parton. No, I'm not saying Dolly Parton versus Babs. No, of course not. I'm just saying the quality of both of those songs. Islands in the Stream and Guilty. Guilty's a good record. It's a solid record. It is. How do you not like that song? Have you ever heard that song? Even Barry Gibb's voice with Barbra Streisand, you don't think those two voices can go together. They make it work. Completely different ranges. Barry Gibb was like, ha, that's what he sang. Barbara's voice a little lower. I don't know how they worked it out. I'm making myself laugh with that ridiculous Barry Gibb impersonation. It's just one of those weird voices you don't hear anywhere. I should stop. I know. I should quit while I'm ahead. But yeah, Lee Majors and Farrah Fawcett. That group, you look at the both of them and you just go, that's California right there. I know she's from Corpus Christi, but you know what I mean. You know, American History X, what are you talking about? I don't know. Do I not know Mockingbird? I'm not familiar with that one. But what was Sheena Easton? She did a song with somebody. For the life of me, I can't remember. You know who will know? When Mark Christopher comes up, he's going to know. I know he's going to know. I'm thinking about that song with Yes. Oh, all right. Congratulations to Bob in Bloomfield. That's all. I'm stalling for time. Bob in Bloomfield. Here's our winner today. who shares a birthday with my Emmy Award-winning producer, Roland. He is the winner of the 11th Commandment GOP gubernatorial debate on May 7th. That's this Thursday at the private event room at Stadium 15. So at 7 o'clock. And you can listen to it here at WTIC on the radio or .com, or you can catch it on CTN, I understand. I think they're airing it afterwards. But you can hear it live right here. Nobody else is telling me where it is. Living through the 80s, we were all married to Farrah. Yeah, you got that right, Michael A. She made me want to go to Corpus Christi. She was on the Battle of the Network Stars. I was like, I'm Farrah Fawcett. I'm from Corpus Christi. I was like, I have to find this place. What is it? If they make them like that, I have to go. And then I went. I went with Roseanne last year. Too late. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I was just hoping they would still be there. I thought they were producing them like Dolly the sheep. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. So, Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on Radio. You have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow. Mark Christopher, he's getting you home.